What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC Network for Week 9 of 2020. And that's right, we're talking about playoffs this week. And I've got a very special guest on the show who hasn't been on before. Extremely excited to have him. It's Daquan. What's going on, man?
It's another week to win. After beating Matt last week, I'm looking forward to keeping the streak going and pushing him towards the playoffs, like we said.
For sure, man. You're on a 2-game win streak, so I know that's got to feel good. And you're looking at possibly going on a 3-game win streak, which we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a few minutes. But just in general, guys, kind of what we're going to go over is obviously playoffs. At least like if the season ended today, where would things fall? And we'll kind of just chat about it and stuff. Then we're going to talk about game of the week, of course. And then we'll quickly run through all 12 matchups throughout the LCC. But Daquan, are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. I love some playoffs. I love the getting the heat of things, and I love when all the stakes are on the line.
All right, let's do this.
What's that?
Let's go.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
That's definitely some teams. Oops, I just passed it. There we go. So here it is. If the season ended today, we don't have actual conference names or anything. So we got Conference A, Conference B. Conference A, the 3 and 6 seed. The 3 seed would be Daquan, and he'd be playing Colby, Mr. 300, who's a 6 seed. And the winner of that would play the number 1 seed, which is Beg for G-Rag. And then we go down a little bit. You see the 4 seed is Abusement Park versus 5 seed Crazy Legs, and winner of that would play She's the Man, who's the 2 seed in Conference A. And then if we move it on down to the right side, we've got number 3 seed Slapdicks versus number 6 seed Afternoon Delights. Even Jordan was surprised that he even made it in the top 6.
Yeah, that surprised me as well.
And the winner of that would play Give Me More, Jameson, who's just steamrolling through the regular season, who's undefeated right now. And then I couldn't fit all the text in the boxes, so I abbreviated Burrow's body count to BBC, who's the 4 seed, playing against myself. Roebuck Leprechauns 5 seed, and the winner of that would play the Eastside Brawlers, who's the 2 seed. So let's talk about this, Daquan. I mean, I literally went through this, and some of these teams were actually kind of tough with the tiebreakers. And for those that don't know, the tiebreaker is first head-to-head, then division record, then conference, and then points for is the next category. So some of them actually did come down to points for, and I want to say it was Jordan was one of the teams where it came down to points for in terms of who got in.
I was gonna say this league has been mostly like middle of the pack. Everybody's been neck and neck throughout the season, so not many people able to separate themselves from pretenders to the actual contenders. Everyone seems around the same except the like top 3. Everybody else I feel like falls in where you can get in.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I think it's because we all like redraft and everything. I feel like everyone, any given week, any team can literally win. Besides maybe like Mike. Mike was got a good team, actually. But yeah, Dirty Mike and the boys is not looking good at this point in the season.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
So I've 1-7. But here's the thing. No one is actually mathematically eliminated. Theoretically, Dirty Mike and the boys, he can't win his division, so that's out, right? But he could still get in as a wild card team because he only trails by 3 games with like 4 games left. Sorry, I had to do some math.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance for sure. He just needs some help. He needs some help and he needs to win, but he could still get in. Now, if he loses, and some of these 4-4 teams win, then he would be eliminated. And then same goes for Storm, of course. And then I think in Conference A, The same case for Mafali. If he loses this week and the 4-4 teams win, then he would be eliminated from the playoffs officially. So technically, everyone's still in it. I know there's some people probably, all right, I'm mathematically in it, but realistically, I'm not really in it. Like, you know,
They would prefer to just go ahead and look towards next year.
let me ask you this, Daquan, is there anyone who's not in the bracket at the moment who you think could easily end up in it by the end of week 12?
I could say anyone from my division that's not in it. Like right now, it's just me and Colby, but I could see Crazy Legs. Oh no, Crazy Legs is in it, but I could see Charles jumping in there.
Yeah.
Just because he was leading our division for a while there, and he projected 209 points this week. He has a team that could easily do it with Matt Ryan and Ezekiel Elliott and Stephon Diggs. Those three alone could carry you to a win. So
yeah,
I think Charles could do it, especially how this division has turned out so far this year.
Charles is averaging 194.6 a game, so almost at that 200 game threshold. He's actually, average wise, I think he's second in your division, Daquan. Colby's first, averaging 205, and Matt is last in your division with 177. But it starts this week for Charles against Maria. He's doing good efficiency wise, 94% efficiency. So if he can pull an upset this week, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but he could easily be in this, like you said. I think for me, though, a team that's on the outside looking in but could easily be in is without a doubt Detroit Bad Boys. I feel like he's averaging 195.4 points per game, 93 efficiency, sitting at 4-4. He just needs a little bit of luck. I think he could actually get into the playoffs as well. I think it's a team that could easily be in there.
I was gonna say I like his team as well, especially with McCaffrey coming back.
Yes.
That will bolster anybody. So all you need to do is carry that momentum along with the rest of the season, and I can see him making that push.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's anybody's game still, obviously, but anytime you get CMC back in your lineup, oh man, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, to be already on the outside looking in, right there on the bubble, without your best player, and now your best player comes back.
Yeah,
it definitely helps.
Speaking of, we just talked about teams looking on the outside in, teams that could actually clinch their division this week, which is pretty nuts because we're a month out from the playoffs. But Jameson is one of those teams. If he wins this week, then regardless of what Burr's body count does, Jameson clinches the West in Conference B. He's in there guaranteed at least a top 3 seed in the playoffs. And then same with She's a Man, that's Maria. But she's got to have a little bit of help. If she wins this week and Hash Slinging Slashers loses this week, then Maria officially clinches the Conference A Central Division championship, which means she's guaranteed a top 3 seed as well. More than likely for both those teams, they're probably looking at a first round bye if they win this week.
Yeah, and that says a lot. Just a lot of teams, those two divisions, their second place win total is 4 wins. So it's kind of easy, not easy. When the rest of the divisions, their lowest team has 4 wins. You look at my division, and then you look at Conference A West. Their lowest is 3-5, so they're right on the cusp of 4 wins. But when your second team has 4 wins, and the other division second person has 4 wins, it's kind of a big gap, and it helps having 6+ wins in both divisions for Maria and Jameson.
Yeah, exactly. A couple teams, they're not far out from clinching their division if they get a little bit of help and they win. Slapdicks is one of those teams. He's currently got a 2-game lead in his division. Another team that's got a 2-game lead. Actually, you know what? I think he's the only one. besides teams we talked about. Yeah, so he's probably the next closest in Clemson clinching his division. He's not far off, and he's on a 2-game win streak, so it's very possible. All right, so we talked about teams that could easily get into the playoffs, or are there any teams that you're looking at in here you could see most likely to not make it?
Besides the obvious choice of Mike and the boys, I would say.
Oh no, sorry. I mean teams that are currently in the bracket.
Oh,
Which
okay,
one of
that
those
will
teams?
likely fall out.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying the long shots that
Oh
we
yeah,
know.
yeah. We know the long shots.
Yeah. I would probably say, once again, anybody from our division could easily fall out. So you could look at Matt's team, and you could look at Colby's team, who's been sliding lately. Colby's team, I think they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So he was.
Colby actually won last week.
He won this week, but prior to that, he had lost 3 in a row. So he was sliding, and I think one person from our division won't make it, and it could be any of the 4.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think we would have to watch out. I think Matt also could be at the bottom because he's got some lucky weeks early on, but when you look at points scored, it doesn't look like the rest of the teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think that's where his break has come, and he's lost 2 in a row now. So I think that Matt will probably be the first out in this bracket.
I agree with you. I mean, here's the rest of Matt's schedule. So week 12, last week, he's got Charles. Week 11, he goes and plays Colby. Now, Colby seems pretty banged up right now, so I mean, Matt could win that. And then week 10, he plays you, so that's next week. And then this week, Matt plays Sunday Funday. So that right there will be interesting to see who wins that between Sunday Funday and the Crazy Legs. I feel like it could kind of go either way. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But anyways, Matt's team is averaging 171 a game, one of the lowest in the league, yet he's 5-3. He literally only needs to win 2 games the rest of the season. He's pretty much clinched a playoff berth, more than likely. We've never seen a 7-5 team not make the playoffs. 6-6 has happened, but I've seen teams do it before. But 7-5, you're pretty much guaranteed, usually.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's got to be one team from our division that won't make it, and I think it's the points that really stand out for me. And Colby's kind of in a hurt place also without a quarterback. I think the Dak injury definitely set him back as he looks to rebuild and because Daniel Jones can't be your quarterback as a championship team.
Exactly.
So that production drop and him not having like an elite number 1 receiver hurts him. His defense is, stout with Bobby Wagner and Roquan Smith. But at the same time, I feel like offensively, he's lacking that star potential to get him into the playoffs as well. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, this is going to change week to week, right? I mean, literally the 1 seed could drop to the 2 seed or eventually maybe be a wild card team. But just, again, reemphasize that the top 3 seeds are in each conference are division winners, and after that is best teams after that, right, who haven't won the division. So it is going to be harder this year than most years to make the playoffs. It's not going to be easy, which is going to make things really interesting each week as we do this. We'll be doing this from now until week 12, unless just somehow nothing changes between each week. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case. But yeah, let's go ahead and move it on to our game of the week. All right. Our game of the week is the third leg, Charles versus She's the Man. That's Maria. Charles is 4-4, a very good 4-4 team. Maria's 6-2. Somehow she keeps winning with a very banged up team, I feel like. It's her defense is nothing but patchwork, band-aids on top of band-aids. But she's getting the job done when it matters most. For this game in particular, though, I'm trying to look up their history, and they've never played each other before. This is the first time. Charles coming off a loss last week. Maria's on a 3-game winning streak now. And like we talked about, Maria's 1 win away from clinching a playoff berth. Charles is 1 loss away from being like a team that's on the fringe of not making the playoffs. So I feel like if a team needs this win the most, it's definitely going to be Charles.
Yes, I think so. And like you said, Maria somehow keeps winning. I definitely had Hunter beating her last week just because of I expected Lamar to play decent even against that Steelers defense, but it just didn't happen, and she was able to get the win.
Yeah, I part of it's just been the linebackers. Chris Barnes has been good at times. Terrell Adams has been good in Houston. And then honestly, I think her biggest liability each week has been safety. Devin McCourty's her starter at the moment. But if you go and look at her bench, I'm trying to pull it up now. So I lost my place. If you look at her bench, Taylor Rapp was at one point the starter. But honestly, his role has fluctuated in that Rams defense. He's gone from backup safety to starting safety. It's just, I don't know. It's like the Rams haven't truly decided who's their number one strong safety out there. I don't know. So any given week, he could literally get you a goose egg or he could get you 40 points. That's just...
I feel like that's pretty much how it is at safety at the position. It's hit or miss. You either hit 40 points or you hit 10 points. So
exactly.
It's definitely a toss-up. So the best thing is to find consistency out there. And I think it's good. Like I like what Charles brings in the safety division, in the safety department, as far as consistency. That's what, with Minka Fitzpatrick and Marcus May, I think that might be the difference maker when we talk about the defenses going head to head.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at the teams, I think the running back situation, I think Charles is very lucky that Alvin Kamara is going against Tampa Bay. I don't think he's going to have a stellar game. I mean, I really think the projection's 21 points. I don't think it's going to be that low, but it is probably going to be in the 20s, honestly. And I think Ezekiel Elliott's projected 20. That is way too high against Pittsburgh. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 15 or something.
I could see him going for 20 just because they have to score somehow.
Yeah.
And they have no other way to score. It's not like they're airing the ball out every game. Is Andy Dalton supposed to be back this week, or are you still in concussion protocol? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't check that out, honestly.
Well, I think that will determine with Zeke. They're going to stack the box, and it's still going to be hard for him to run.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a how much are we going to force feed him type of game.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know. I actually think this is going to be a relatively low-scoring game because of the running back matchups. Matt Ryan going against the Broncos, I think he could have a good game. It's in Atlanta, so it's not in the element or anything. Drew Brees playing against Tampa. I feel like Brees is going to have to actually have a good game for them to stay competitive in that game. And then when you look at Stephon Diggs playing against Seattle, that is a great matchup for Charles. Yeah. Keenan Allen against the Raiders, I think that's a good matchup. I don't think it's quite as good as what Diggs has got, but it's still a solid matchup for sure. And then when I look at the defensive line, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Big Ben's been sacked that many times this year. So I don't know if DeMarcus Lawrence will put up big numbers like he did the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think they'll be smart and focus on DeMarcus Lawrence. Their offensive line is really good for Pittsburgh, and they get the ball out of Big Ben's hands quick, whether it's to Snell or Juju or any of the other receivers they have. He doesn't really hold the ball too long.
Yeah. And J.J. Watt going against the Jaguars, I think he could have a good game.
Yes.
And then the linebacker situation, it's hard for me to say. I mean, the projection 0 for both these linebackers, but they're both starting, so we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Terrell Adams playing against Jacksonville. I feel like Jacksonville's offense is so vanilla that might hurt Adams a little bit. And then Chris Barnes for Green Bay is playing against the 49ers. And that's another matchup I'm not super crazy about.
Yeah.
The more I look at this, Daquan, I think I'm probably going to go Charles in this matchup with the upset.
I'm expecting a big day from Matt Ryan, and I think Breeze will do enough against the Bucks to kind of even it out, but it's gonna hurt Kamara.
Yeah.
So I think that both of them playing the same defense, it's gonna hurt Maria more than it's gonna hurt Charles. So I'm taking Charles as well in this in this game for the upset of the game of the week.
Yeah, I agree. Projections have Charles winning big time, winning 209 to 106. But again, two of her linebackers are projected 0, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll move it down to our next matchup that we got here. Let me scroll down a little bit. So our next one we got is, and we'll kind of speed up for these other matchups since we don't have a ton of time, but we got Mufasa Moneymakers versus you, Daquan. 1-7 versus 5-3. That's a night and day difference. I think the biggest question mark, though, what does Tua do against the Cardinals in Arizona?
I don't think it's as good of a defense as he played last week, and he played solidly last week. So I think the difference maker. I think Tua. That first game he had the pressure on him. The second game, it's gonna be all right. Let me see if I can do it again. And I don't think he actually gets it done like last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pick you in this, by the way. I think some of your matchups are great. Like TJ Watt against the Cowboys. I mean, his ceiling could be 100 literally in that game.
Yeah. Hoping.
Jeremy Chin against the Chiefs, he's going to be busy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to win this pretty big the more I look at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And last week JK got his first 100 rushing yard game. I don't see that coming again with that offense, the way they hand the ball off with Edwards and Ingram and J.K. Dobbins. So I think that's going to hurt him because he did, Dobbins play well. It's a toss-up, but I'm going myself as well.
Yeah. History-wise, you guys have played each other 4 times since 2017. Afali won the first 2 games, and you've won the last 2, including the playoffs last year. You beat him in the divisional round. You beat him 296 to 205, and in the regular season in week 9, you beat him pretty good. So this right here will break the tie between you both.
Well, I think I can get the tie, but I don't think Mufali will mind too much of me getting the tie. not this year.
Yeah. We'll keep it moving down here to our next matchup. We've got Abusement Park versus Mr. 300. Abusement Park 5-3, Mr. 300 4-4. This is playoff implications here. This is another game we looked at for game of the week. But I don't know. We've seen inconsistency with Mr. 300's offense throughout the year because of injuries. Daniel Jones, like you said, Daquan, I don't know how great I feel about that, even though they are playing against the Redskins.
Okay, Washington, he shows up in the division games for some reason. He'll go off and throw for 300 yards in the division game.
Yeah.
But not as much as Josh Allen will go off.
Yeah. I think I'm going to Abusement Park in this. He's on a 4-game win streak. This will boost him up to 5. And the last time they played each other is actually week 2 of last year. Mr. 300 won 306 to 295. I think this is Peyton's game to lose. I don't see how he blows this game. Even though, well, you know what? I take that back. Only because I'm still going to be Beasley Parker. I just don't like the running back situation he's got. Having to go with a backup there, but
that's how I was feeling. I like Clyde Edwards going against
Panthers. He's
the
gonna,
Panthers. Any running back against the Panthers always.
It's just hard for me to pick. Know what Colby's doing. He hasn't set his lineup yet because of the bye weeks with Jesse Bates on a bye and Travis Fulgham on a bye too. I think. I don't know. You know
I'm going amusement parks.
I am too.
Because, like I said earlier, I think Colby's offense lacks the firepower that his defense kind of makes up for.
Yeah.
But it just hurts a lot with bye weeks and stuff like that. So I'm going amusement parks.
Me too.
I like the lineup.
I do too. I do think CH though is the X factor in this game. So our next game we talked about this earlier, Crazy Legs versus Sunday Funday. The Crazy Legs are 5-3, but not scoring the points like a 5-3 team probably should. And then Sunday Funday's 3-5. This is a must win. He literally probably can't afford any more losses the rest of the year. Just because again, 7-5, you're pretty much guaranteed. 6-6, you're gonna need some help to get in there at that point. So they've never played each other, no history there. I guess we can just talk about the game itself. Vander Esch has been pretty solid since he's come back from his injury. Robbie Anderson's had a great year. I don't know. I part of me actually wants to go with the upset with Sunday Funday just because I like the ceiling that some of his players have this week.
I can agree on that. I do like the ceiling of players like Todd Gurley and Kirk Cousins. And I don't really like the running backs. I don't know if Matt switched his running back yet, or is he planning to switch it? But Wayne Gallman is not going to get it done.
No.
At running back. If he wants to go back with Chris Carson, I would assume that if he plays, but he's questionable with his injury.
Yeah, and even if he does play, it might be a limited role because of the injury,
Yeah. So, it's a tough call. I think I'm gonna go with Matt just because, like I said, he just finds ways to win, even though his point totals don't add up. I could see it happening again this week.
Yeah, I agree. I could definitely see that happening. Our next matchup here, we've got Hunter of Champions versus Beg for G-Reg. Hunter's 2-6. I don't think any of us saw Hunter being this bad this year, especially with Lamar Jackson on his team. And then going off against the 6-2 Beg for G-Reg, who's leading the league and scoring average points per game. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could wholeheartedly say BP is going to lose this game.
Yeah.
Sure, Lamar Jackson has the potential to just kill it any week, but I can't do it. I cannot pick an upset in this.
Yeah, not against the leading scorer of the league. I'm going Beg for G-Reg. I think it's obvious. Cook's been on fire this year carrying this team, and it's not even just Cook carrying him. It's a team of players carrying him, and then I think the overall roster, he's got a really good overall roster, but it doesn't help when Dalvin Cook's putting up 3 touchdowns a game.
Yeah,
definitely an added bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, we've got the Hash Slinging Slashers. Oh, let me get that sound drop real quick.
The Hash Slinging Slasher.
I feel like I probably skipped someone's sound drop earlier. Knowing myself, I probably did. But anyways, they're 3-5 going against the 4-4 Detroit Bad Boys. Mondo, I believe, is coming off a win from last week. Yeah, whereas Billy's coming off a loss. We talked a little bit earlier about teams that need to win versus teams that can afford a loss. Mondo can't really afford a loss, especially trailing his division the way he is. I I feel like this is going to be a really interesting matchup, though. Pat Mahomes is going to go off against the Panthers. Justin Herbert's been solid, and he's playing against the Raiders. I think he'll be good. Christian McCaffrey's got to have a good game against the Chiefs for them to be competitive.
Yes. I'm leaning slinging slashers in this one. I like the trade for Adams. That's the huge change for the slinging slasher for this team.
Yeah.
I think that was the move he wanted to make him a playoff team. And I think even though I really like Detroit Bad Boys roster this week, I think another game from Adams like last week and the week before, along with Mahomes playing the Panthers defense, will be enough to carry him to a win.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go sling slashers too. I do like Cameron Hayward's matchup against the Cowboys. I like Tyreek Hill against the Panthers, but I don't know. It's hard. I think Devontae Adams literally is. I keep pounding that drum. The X factor in this matchup. I think he's gonna be the difference maker. And who knows? Maybe tonight he shits the bed and Detroit Bad Boys comes away with a win. But I don't see that happening. I think Mondo's gonna get the win here.
Yeah, I just most of the time, huge quarterback play, and if you can get 30 from your quarterback and at least 40 from if you get 40 plus from your quarterback and 20 plus, like 25, 30 from your receiver, it puts you in great place to win, and I think that's what slinging slashers will get this week.
Yeah, I agree. We got a few more matchups to go. This is a rivalry game here. The Spurs versus Eastside Brawlers. Spurs 3-5 coming off a win against Cody. That Eastside Brawlers 6-2 having a great year. At times has been lucky, but as the saying goes, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. But he's both this season. So I don't know. Part of it's does DJ Dallas get a big role in that Seahawks offense against the Bills, and even if he does, it's the Bills defense, you know? I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm actually going to pick the Spurs because of that reason. I just can't totally trust DJ to win this for Eastside Brawlers.
I think the quarterbacks will cancel each other out in this game, and I think, like you said, DJ Dallas won't put up the numbers. Henry will.
Yeah.
I think look for Henry to have like a bounce back week. They played terrible last week on offense as a whole. I think they'll get it going. That's going to be an emphasis for the Titans to get it back going this week as they look to turn it towards the playoffs. So I'm going the Spurs. I think he gets it done. I don't really like his receiver compared to Kelsey versus us because it depends. If we're putting chin on Kelsey over the middle, it'll change a lot. But anytime he's matched up with anybody else, I think it's a mismatch.
Yeah. Just so you know, Daquan, what we're picking against here, they played each other 10 times. And Cameron has not beat my dad since week 4 of 2012. That's how long it's been. My dad is literally on a 7-game win streak against Cameron. It's crazy, like how dominant. And it's not just that like he's winning. It's that sometimes he's winning big. And I think one of the biggest margins was probably back in like 2014 where Eastside Brawlers won 183-114. But it has been a minute since Cameron has won. And I know, but if there's a year it's going to happen, I feel like it's going to be this year. And that would help Cameron a lot. This is a much needed win for him this week.
I like Cameron's defense. I just think he'll get it done somehow, and I like Henry just outscoring Dallas by probably four times as much.
Yeah, exactly. Our next matchup, we got Burrow's Body Count, BBC for short, who's 4-4, going up against the Slapdicks, who's 6-2. And by the way, the Slapdick Stadium name is the Cup. by the way. I just realized that. I don't wonder if he just recently did it. But anyways, Burrow's body count, 2-game losing streak, Slapdick's 2-game winning streak. Hey, this is a game right here. I said Slapdicks isn't that far off from clinching his division and guaranteeing himself a top 3 seed in the playoffs. Gus Edwards versus David Montgomery. I don't know about that one. Like I feel like, but honestly, I look at the matchups. I'm probably gonna go Slapdicks in this. I like his team as a whole better than Burrow's body count, especially this week. I think Russell Wilson, because they don't have a running back, he's going to have to play extraordinarily well against the Buffalo Bills defense.
Yeah, I think, I'm looking at it and, he's got Gus Edwards. That's who he has starting, but he has Aaron Jones on his bench, and I think that will determine a lot. Yeah, I know he's questionable with his calf injury. So if he could get Aaron Jones to play, that would be a huge advantage going into this game. But like you said, that I'm leaning Slapdicks in this one just because Russell Wilson has been on a tear this year, and then you get David Montgomery, and then Calvin Ridley's also been great so far this year. I think Slapdicks has too much offensive power without Aaron Jones playing for Burrow body count to make it a close game.
Yeah, I agree. We got 3 more matchups here, and our next one is myself, Robot Leprechauns of 5-3 versus Michael, who is 4-4. I don't know. Up until the Matt Stafford COVID thing, like that has the potential to really ruin this week for Michael, I feel like, in some ways. And DeAndre Swift not having the starting quarterback, does he get more carries? Or do they just stack the box and dare Detroit to throw the ball on him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it definitely does hurt. I don't think Swift will be able to make up for Stafford not being there in points. I'm going you in this one, Pat. I was going to mess around and say Michael just to mess with you, but it's just the COVID, like with the COVID, it's so hard with Stafford not playing.
Yeah.
It can easily upset everything.
Yeah. We've played each other twice, Michael and I, and he's actually beat me both times. Week 12, 2018, week 10, almost exactly a year ago, 2019, he beat me. So, I don't know, man. He just seems to get the luck of the draw against me. But hopefully I can extend my winning streak to 5 and get myself on the fringe of getting the playoffs. But we'll keep it moving for the sake of time. Actually, I was wrong. We have 3 more matchups. We got Afternoon Delights, who's 4-4. Again, projected 6th seed of the season today against Le Batard Lobos. He's only a game behind him at 3-5. And Teddy B going against the Chiefs, I don't know. I feel like he's gonna have to be good for them to stay competitive, And Ryan Tannehill against the Bears, ooh, that's a tough matchup, But Julio Jones has been good this season since he's come back. Playing against the Broncos, I think he'll have a good game. But DK Metcalf against the Bills, I do think he's going to have a good game still, but I don't think it's going to be a 64-point game like he had last week. I think it might come down to earth, down to 20 or something like that.
Yeah. I see Teddy playing decent. It's kind of one of those games where, well, the other quarterback's balling on the other side. Let me sling it as well. And that's kind of how my thought process was going when I drafted when I got Minshew. Get down by a lot, have to air it out the rest of the game. So I see Teddy actually putting up really good points. With the Chiefs, you never know. You can get the Chiefs that play the Raiders, you can get the Chiefs that put up 50. So you really don't know. And it's one of the teams that they play to their competition sometimes.
Yeah.
But not with our secondary. I think our secondary is so weak. it's going to be like practice for him. So Teddy's going to have to air it out.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning afternoon delights in this game. Like we said, it depends on DK if he can stay hot. Defenses are gonna start focusing on double coverage in him even more. Kind of let Lockett take over some more, and expect let Lockett beat you. But like I said, I like the Titans. I think they get on the roll after playing so bad last week. Even against the Bears defense, I can see them get right in the ship and kind of starting to play some playoff football.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick. Well, I forgot to play Jordan's sound drop. But I'm actually gonna go with the upset here. I'm gonna go with Lobatari Lobos. Buda Baker being back is a game changer. And then Adam Thielen and Julio Jones. These guys could have a good game. I feel like so.
Yeah.
2 more matchups, and then we'll be through. We got the least exciting matchup, literally the toilet bowl. The 2 1-7 teams, Vegetarians versus Dirty Mike and the boys. Who's gonna get that? Who's gonna lock up? Right, the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, granted, it's not locked up, but still, I don't know. Jared Goff's on a bye, so Mike's got to go dumpster diving for a backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's not looking good for either of these teams. I think Storm's team's better than his record indicates.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But you never know. The 20 points projected by Leonard Fournette's kind of offsetting to what he's done all year.
Yeah.
But for Storm, taking him with the first pick looks great.
It does, yeah.
It looks great now that he's projected 20 points.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Storm in this. They've only played each other once, so it's 2017, Week 12. Storm won 184 to 179. I don't know. I feel like that could actually be... And that was... You got to think, 2017, those scores, that is extremely low.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a decent week this year when we have smaller roster sizes. I'm going to pick Storm, though. I think he's going to get a second win this week.
To second Storm.
Oh, I got to play his sound drop.
I'm gonna get it all up in your bag.
That's what Storm's going to do. Our last matchup, this would have been game of the week if Cody's record is better, but he's 3-5. Jameson's 8-0. Cody, I think, he's got someone on a bye as well. I could be wrong, but they played each other a good bit over the years. Cody leads the series 3-2. Jameson hasn't won since Week 7, 2015. And the last time they played is Week 12 of last year when Cody won 246 to 230. So I don't know. Ronald Jones isn't getting the carries he should in Tampa Bay, I feel like. And Jameson's team's just scoring, good numbers most weeks. I'm going to go Jameson. I wish this was going to be a good game, but I don't see it being a good game.
Like looking at Jameson's team, I look and see how does he score? Like, how is he undefeated? But it's the defense that shows up. The defense and Kyler Murray. That's all you need.
Yeah.
To show up each week. I like Cody's team. It depends on if he starts Antonio Brown this week. It's a toss-up. I can see with Tom Brady and Antonio Brown sharing a house, they're kind of talking up how he's going to get a touchdown this week. I see him getting in the end zone at least once this game for the first game back. But I'm going with Jameson in this one. It's just 8-0 is hard to pick against.
Yeah.
It's hard to go against the best team in the league and not think that they're going to get the win.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Daquan, I'm mixing all sorts of names up right now. Thanks for hopping on, man. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoyed the show, and hopefully this helps people de-stress a little bit from the ongoing election night. I feel like that's running going to be a week long, but everyone, best of luck this week, and we will catch you all for week 10.
Looking forward to week 10. Looking forward to like not just my team, but just the matchups we have. Looking forward, and as everybody else is making that push to playoffs, and we get more clarity of who all is going to actually make that push.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. We'll see y'all later.
See you guys.